Welcome back to the Quinexus podcast. I'm Chuck.
I'm Jack.
Today we're going to talk about why the internet breaks. A few weeks ago, a lot of major sites went down and it appeared to many users that the internet was broken. What happened and why does that happen?
There's lots of reasons, but specifically 2 weeks ago, the internet was broken because this company called Akamai actually did an upgrade to their servers and their servers were not available. Now you might ask, how can one company break the internet? It's pretty common actually. Akamai is a DNS hosting service provider.
What is a DNS?
DNS stands for Domain Name Services. It's one of the basic fundamentals of how the internet initiates communication. When you type in www or www, which stands for www.quinexus.com, your computer needs a way to find our website. And the way it does is it needs to resolve the www.quinexus.com, which is called a URL, to an IP address. And DNS, Domain Name Services, is the service that actually takes the URL and gives it to an IP address.
Tell me more about IP addresses.
I'd love to. The internet, an IP address is like a street address. My URL for Quinexus, www.quinexus.com, is sitting on an address on the internet. And the internet needs to be able to find that address. So it uses DNS to find out what the address is from the URL. And then the internet needs to be able to find my website. And again, the IP address is like a street address. This is where the web server is that hosts our website. And the computer now needs to get there. And the way it gets there is it uses something called routing. You're sitting at your office or at home, wherever, and you want to get to a website like Amazon. You have your computer sitting at home on your own local area network, and you do the DNS. Now the computer needs to route that traffic, so it needs to leave your local area network and go through the internet, routing through different routers, till it finally gets to Amazon.com or Quinexus.
Give me some more examples of how the internet can break.
We have this physical media called wires or wireless or fiber, copper. Those are all physical medias, and they all have to be intact. This is how the routers all are connected to each other and how computers are connected. And an example is the cable-seeking backhoe. This is that big yellow thing you see on the street with a big claw on it. And what it will do is dig up some of that physical infrastructure and break the internet. You have wires on telephone poles. We call them telephone poles, or power poles. And you could have a car that could take out one of those. Or there's always the cable-eating squirrel that will get up into these wires that are going overhead and will eat through the stuff and break the internet.
What about DNS filtering? Tell me more about that.
DNS filtering is a very effective way of preventing people from going to certain type of sites. In a business, it's very important that you protect your systems from sites that users should not be allowed to go to. The topics range from adult material to social media. There are organizations that don't allow users to hit social media. There's organizations that don't allow users to have access to outside mail services. Because those outside mail services, if they log into them from a business computer, can download inappropriate content or malicious content. So you put DNS filters to prevent someone from getting to a site that is outside of corporate policy. To sum up, we joked around a little bit about saying the internet's broken, which really means, why isn't it doing what you want it to do? Why can't you get to the sites you want to get to? The primary reasons you can't get to a site you want to get to is typically related to DNS, which is a technology that resolves the URL to a domain name. That could be having an issue. We have the physical infrastructure. We have the cable-seeking backhoe and the wire-eating squirrel that can be taking out the internet. And we have routing tables and routing protocols that actually take the packets, the information you want to send to a site and receive from a site, routes it through the internet, and there could be a routing issue. Just because you can't get to a site doesn't mean the internet's broken. Oftentimes we get phone calls saying the internet's down, and they might not be able to send email, but they can surf. That doesn't mean the internet's down. It means a service is down. And then we have to diagnose what's really going on. The internet is nothing more than a big collection of computer systems.
Thanks for joining us for another Quinexus podcast. Like, comment, and subscribe wherever you're watching this, and we'll see you next time.